speak to the appropriate strategies, knowing that Nigeria is the largest economy in West Africa. So what specific strategies should Nigerian Financial Institute adopt to expand their presence in the West Africa economy and monetary union, given the common currency and economic ties?
Well, Nigeria needs to make itself known to the community, outside community, that they have a financial wherewith to finance their projects and move on with it. Yeah. Nigeria needs to get the information out there to the other countries. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to ask. Okay, okay. Okay, so probably you also have one or two ideas to share about this. What are the strategies? What are the strategies that Nigeria's financial institution should adopt to expand their presence in West Africa economy?
Well, Nigeria being a leader in the African region, I think there's a lot of value chain around Nigeria when it comes to financial services. Take, for example, how financial technology has grown in Nigeria. Everywhere you go to, you see a woman or a man with a POS, which has been able to generate some form of low income for them.
Okay.
So intellectual property can also be escalated from the way Nigeria has been able to
Okay, can you please project?
So I mean, Nigerians' intellectual property around financial services can also be exported to the other West African region.
Okay.
Because Nigeria is a hub that the other African states can learn a lot from.
Okay, thank you very much. So, as a member of African Continental Free Trade Area, so how can Nigeria leverage its membership in the African Continental Free Trade Area to promote cross-border financial services? And what regulatory challenges need to be addressed in facilitating this?
Well, you also realize that one of the reasons for integration is to remove restrictions like cross-border free trade.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if there's less restrictions between the African states, trade will be more seamless. You know what I mean? So the bottlenecks for restriction is the major thing that Nigeria or the African states should work towards, and also like a common currency like what the euro has been able to adopt. It would also strengthen the value of the local currencies among the African states or the West African states. So those are some of the things I think the African states can do to promote and project trade among themselves.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll come to Agayere. Nigerians are the set of people that they go all the way out for their people. Even when they go out of the country, they don't forget home. At least to some large extent, you see Nigerians sending stuffs back home, sending money back home, doing a lot of things back home. So I'd like to ask, what innovations in cross-border remittance services can Nigeria Financial Institution explore to tap into the significant remittance flow in and out of the country?
Thank you. I think the strategy is to make sure that whatever you send out, there's payment made back to you, okay, because somebody owns those products. Once you do that, once you're able to do that, then it's easy to continue doing the transaction, continue doing your transactions.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. You would like to be part of this conversation?
Well, like I said before, financial technology has opened up a lot to Africa, the diaspora, and everything. So money transfer was not as easy as it is now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And the monopoly that institutions like MoneyGram and the likes were holding has been broken down. So you see little apps, little financial institutions that have been able to drive remittances and money transfers between Nigeria and the other African countries. So I think financial technology, is deepening, is expanding, and it's really enriching the African market.
So, thank you. So, many Nigerian businesses are looking at expanding into neighboring markets, and we have issues of risk management and all of this. So I'd like to know, in the context of trade finance, what role can Nigerian banks and fintech companies play in supporting regional trade within West Africa, and what are the key risks involved? I'd like to ask this.
Well, the question is, does the Nigerian bank want to go into a foreign country and set up branches in a foreign country? If they want to, then it makes things a lot easier, because you sell whatever either in naira or in the foreign currency of the country you are in. The key issue is, how does the parent company get its money back? And that is what the company has to sit down and strategize about. How do we get our money back in Nigeria? Is it through the branch that we have there, or is it through the product? If we sell a pen to you now, you pay us in the currency you have in your hand. What do we do after that? Do we sell? Do we keep the currency you give us, or do we change it to the currency of the home country, or whatever currency? Now the question is, after you sold the product, what is the risk? What is the risk inherent in that, in selling that product? Because there's still another risk. There's a foreign currency risk. What happens when you sell that product? If you sell it in Benin Republic, you sell it in their currency. Okay, how do you get the proceeds of that product back to Nigeria without taking a fall in the prices in your currency?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Why I'm asking you the question, I also asked, okay, that's because we would like to have different,
more solutions.
More solutions around it. So I also like you to address this question.
Okay, the issue of risk management, you see the Nigerian currency is on a free fall. When I'm even scared in the morning to open the dailies or find out information of what the exchange rate is now. But I know the West African market, the leaders, and the Nigerian, who is supposed to be a pioneer in a lot of things, just like South Africa has taken the lead. You can see the way South Africa has brought together some countries, and they are now the BRICS country.
Mm-hmm.
That's innovation. They are also looking for how to break the autonomy that the dollar has. So Nigeria should also be very innovative about how they are going to go about risk management. Like I said, producing a common currency for the ECOWAS countries or for the African countries. The financial experts should come together and see how they can hedge the local currencies. But you can see that the local currencies for the African states is on a free fall. When these issues can give anybody a heart attack or so. So I think a lot has to be done with risk management, across the African states on how they can entrench risk management, because I don't think they've done much on that at all.
Okay, thank you very much. And let's look at this next question. Nigeria has a significant Muslim population. Nigeria, we have a significant Muslim population.
Okay.
And exploring opportunities around Islamic banking and financial institution, I think would attract more investors, if you agree with me. So I'd like to ask, what are the potential opportunities and challenges for Nigerian financial institutions looking to expand their operations in Islamic finance within neighboring countries with significant Muslim population? Talk about the Chad, Niger, and all.
Well, I think the Islamic finance has an ethos of risk and reward. You know what I mean? They don't believe in interest. They believe that, oh, if you are doing a project, we share both risk and reward. It's a good innovation, you know, because the Muslims, you will realize that they follow their faith, and their faith guides them even in the transactions that they do. How we can import that to other African countries? I think countries like Chad, Niger Republic, they even have a bigger Muslim population than even Nigeria. So I think Islamic finance, it's entrenched in the Quran. So I think the knowledge about Suku and other Islamic products are already very versatile among them. So I don't think Nigeria is even coming in late in trying to entrench Islamic finance. You know what I mean? But you can see Islamic banking is cropping up now. You know, is it sustainable? That's another question. You know what I mean? The issue of risk and reward. If I tell you, if I bring a transaction for you now, I know we're going to share risk and reward. So, will I put in the proper risk management from my own end when I realize that, oh, if we're sharing risk, we're sharing reward, it can go anyway. So, people who are doing business around Islamic finance, are they really being held accountable to see a transaction through when the ethos for Islamic finance is on risk and reward? No, I mean risk and reward.
Yes.
That if we're making money, we're sharing.
Yes, yes.
So if we're making a loss, we're also sharing the loss. So for me, it has always been an issue with Islamic finance. But that's the most I can.
But that's why, because you talk about having Islamic finance entrenched in their religious book, I guess.
Yes.
So, but then I want to ask, is there something they are doing differently that is giving them a leverage or something here, an edge, and that you think Nigeria finance should also do, or something you think they should take out that probably Nigeria finance should? I mean, you get it.
You know what is attractive? If there's like a media campaign and says, oh, we're not charging interest. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That will first attract you to even see what is going on.
Definitely.
But you realize that no money is free. You're still going to share the risk and you're still going to share the reward. I think Islamic banking has gone around in a very novel way to attract people that, oh, we're not all about the interest, you know, there are no hidden charges. We are here to support your business, and if you make money, we'll share in it. If you also make a loss, I think the ethos of Islamic finance alone is refreshing, is salvaging, you know. It gives you a lot of comfort that, oh, you're dealing with a business partner, you know what I mean, who means well for you.
All right, thank you very much. So let's look at infrastructure finance, such as, I'll come to you, such as road, bridges, energy, and all of that. Nigeria is doing a whole lot, you know, within their region, if you ask me. So I'd like to ask you, how can Nigeria collaborate with neighboring countries to attract investment and finance infrastructure projects on a regional scale? And what financing mechanism can be explored?
Well, what we can do is call them into call the other countries into a meeting, and you ask them to get involved. Tell them the advantages of the infrastructure projects you're trying to develop. If it's a road from here to Niger, tell them how things will move from Lagos to Niger, the advantages of it. Once they know the advantages of it, then they will come in.
Okay, thank you very much. So I also bring this question to you. So, you know, like the last administration, there was a construction of a railway line from Nigeria to Niger. I mean, it's part of it, you know. So I'd like you to answer this question as well, you know. How can Nigeria collaborate with neighboring countries to attract investment and finance infrastructure projects on a regional scale? And what financing mechanism can be explored?
Well, I think the development banks that Nigeria has, we should work with the African Development Bank to achieve this feat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the infrastructure bank that we have. So I think the the content it should create around infrastructural development is working with the regional hub of African Development Bank, and to see how this scale can be achieved. Those are experts about infrastructural development. So it's not something that they should actually advise us. They should be like a template on how this should be achieved. So the Development Bank in Nigeria should work with the ECOWAS and also the Regional Development Bank on a way forward on how we are going to achieve this, with the collaboration of other stakeholders in the states. You know.
Okay, so in the case of financial inclusion, especially in the underserved areas, the rural areas and all of that, what steps can be taken to promote financial inclusion in border regions and these underserved areas? You know, and how can this contribute to expansion of microfinance and mobile banking services?
The good thing with financial technology is reaching the underserved. You see, POS have been deployed to places where you never thought they could reach.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why banks closed down branches that they had in the villages was that there were no activities. And you could realize that with financial technology, there's not so much investment in fixed assets and fixed infrastructure. So I think financial technology should just be broadened and widened, you know what I mean? Development finance around financial technology. You know, innovation, novel things are coming up every day. The finance companies should be more empowered to be able to drive business. You know, so I think financial technology, you know, around the POS is really driving inclusion. You know what I mean? And they should do more.
Okay.
They are really doing wonders.
What educational and training initiatives should Nigeria undertake to develop the skills and knowledge required for professionals in neighboring countries, you know, to participate in cross-border financial services?
I would say financial literacy, you know, deepening more financial literacy, you know what I mean. Also, exporting knowledge from Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is one of the most excluded group of people in the world. So I think knowledge export around financial services, financial literacy, you know, also people being taught on how they can go about doing transaction around fintech, you know, and also keeping in mind on risk management, on how they can also protect themselves. So I think financial literacy is the key. If Nigeria can export more financial literacy to the neighboring countries.
Okay, so thank you. I'll come to Agayuri. So talking about risk management, you know, what are the specific risk management challenges associated with expanding financial services across borders, and how can Nigeria institutions mitigate this risk effectively?
The risk is a risk that somebody can get into your system and do all the wrong things with their accounts. Well, I think from day one, once you structure a system, you can put an anti-risk into it. That not everybody can just sign in and change things on your system. So once you can do that, then you can take it to the next step of sending it out to people to use and see what happens. But the risk is clearly that people will get into the system and will do things to the system that what is not supposed to be done, and that is the biggest risk. If I have a chest now of money in it, and I give you all the permission to go in there and use it, take money out of it when you need and do whatever you want with it. The risk there for me is that you will go beyond and do beyond what you need.
Okay.
Now, how do you avoid that? Is addressing the client and saying, okay, this client needs 10,000 naira, and 10,000 naira is all these clients can have out of that box. If he attempts to do more than 10,000 naira, it won't go anywhere. So you have to put a lot of checks and balances in the system so that there's security in the process.
All right, thank you. Okay, you want to add to this?
I think I agree with what Mr. Ezekiel has said, that
Okay.
there must be checks and balances, and there must be a cap on what people can access to meet in areas of risk management, you know what I mean? So,
Okay.
like what NIMSI is doing in biometrics, so institutions like that, NIMSI can be expanded to have a lot of informal access to people's financial transactions and be able to determine the level they can play, you know what I mean?
Yes.